hit you with fire. Me body, prayer yeri. When I was born again, I can't remember. I know that people kind of use all kind of like prayer points, but it would to laminate you with fire. And me say, you know, she's laminated with. God is so wonderful, honestly speaking. Charlatans, clowns, all of this, because of public money, una turn to prayer warrior. Una turn. The only thing that it was missing in that gathering is the kind of. That's the only thing missing. You go know say that guy where they pray, they don't give her one chairman, one committee chairman, and that is his own way of showing appreciation. To say, Omo, I got to laminate obviously with fire. So Fuadoki, one of their GAC leaders in Lagos, had this to say, and according to him, yes, we are all disappointed. Okay, I don't know, maybe not all of us. So I personally feel disappointed that I expected more drama from Obasa today, but it didn't show up. Maybe they told him that if you dare, you'll be suspended, you'll be dismissed. Now, because you'll be House of Assembly member, that's why you think you have something, Abi. Once they say that you're no longer House of Assembly member anymore, and quick, they will nominate another person from Agege. From those people who are shouting, we stand with Obasa, we stand with Obasa. Now from them, they will nominate somebody that will eventually take over your seat from Agege, and you are finished. So according to Fuadoki, he said in what is called oath in law, Obasa in law, in his word, with Shemun this evening.
How does this come to you? What is the significance of today's event in Lagos?
Good evening, Shehu, and good evening, viewers. I want to reiterate what I said off camera again, that though I am very reluctant to speak on topical issues these days for reasons that are so obvious, but again, for you, Shehu, wanting me to talk on topical issue should be assumed. Having said that, I would also want to start with a street cliché, which simply says the issue of the erstwhile Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly, it's a matter Lagosians will say, Otilo. So don't let us go back there. It is, past, events, and let us look forward. The events of this morning, again, I, want to correct you that the Right Honorable Speaker, Lasbat Mujisola Meranda, is just moving into the Speaker's office. No, she is the Speaker. What she did is what would be expected of any decent person. The erstwhile Speaker still has some personal effects in his old office. Hence the reason why the Right Honorable Speaker did not move into the office of the Speaker. And I think with the events of last weekend, where it was agreed that the erstwhile Speaker be allowed to go and take his personal things, not just in the former office, but also at the Speaker's Lodge, where unfortunately, the event was turned into a shameless and very shameful jamboree. It is unfortunate that Lagos is being dragged into this mess. But you are also part of it, Shehu, and other media houses, where you want to continue to either celebrate or give wrong credence to inanities. The Speaker going into the new office, moving from our old office as deputy speaker and into the office of the speaker. It's just the right thing. Now you see our colleagues also going, and what you see is like, seeking the face of God, like the Bible will say, that, raise up your heads unto the hills to see and seek, favors, of God.
Nuisance, Lele.
So that we don't miss that part, okay? So in a nutshell, Obasa, you will hear from him again. Okay? Even though he believes that the reason why they came for him was because he wanted to be governor. Now he's not going to have a chance of even being, be counted among the people that want to be governor of Lagos State. He would not. By June 2025, you won't hear anything about him anymore, except if he carries out his threat of turning Agege against APC, then maybe he will remain in the news. So let's leave Obasa. I'm going to take us to Democratic Republic of Congo. I don't think there's anything democratic about what is happening in Congo, by the way. But there is some, there's some important information that I think I should share with us here based on the developments in Congo. The population of Congo is put at 114 million or 111 million, as depends on which of the data we are probably going to use, but it's over 100 million. And they border to the east, right? They border Rwanda, whose population is put at somewhere between 14 million and 15 million. And you all know this history of Rwanda, the Tutsis, the Hutus in the 90s, the war, the 100 Days War. Remember? With over 500,000 people killed within 100 days. And then the militias that crushed the, that ended the war. And the leader of that militia or rebel group, who became their president, Paul Kagame. Paul Kagame has been the president of Rwanda for over 20 years now. What am I even saying? Since 1997 or so. Yeah. He has been their president. Now, Paul Kagame, to some, is considered as a stabilizer. One momento. Because I need to actually really use what I think I should call he's been their president since year 2000. Okay, Paul Kagame. That simply means he's been president now for 25 years. So they enacted a sort of a national policy where people are not to identify themselves as Hutus or Tutsis anymore, but Rwandans. The tribalism, the ethnic jingoism, and the rest of that, they are serious crimes in Rwanda. Politicians are not allowed to address Rwandans as Tutsis or Hutus. We see in eastern part of Congo, right? It is believed that even though the population of the eastern part of Congo is put at somewhere around, 8-9 million, right? But one of their biggest city called Goma is with the population of at least over 2 million people. Okay. Now, this eastern part of the Congo is also one of the richest spots, not like in wealth for the people, but in mineral resources. So for years, like at least in the past 28 years, it has been ravaged by all kinds of, crisis of people fighting to control the resources of this area. Now, the last 10 years of this part of Congo have seen increased poverty, displacement, like the fight between the people they call the rebels of that axis who were fighting to control their own resources. And they are called the M23 rebels. The founder of the M23 is no other person than Paul Kagame. Now, they believe that, you see, this eastern part of Congo is mostly populated by the Tutsis, who ordinarily, right, would have been part of Rwanda, if not because the owners of Africa then, who demarcated Africa, shared Africa among themselves and gave Congo to Belgium. Then they cut that part as part of Congo. Now, you see this chance that the Rwandans have, where ethnic, tribal, what have you, are not tolerated. In Congo, they believe that these Tutsis are being persecuted, mostly by the majority ethnic, by the ethnic other part of the country that is in the majority, so to say. So you see these guys who are now fighting these government forces in that eastern part of Congo, they are called rebels. Therefore, you see all the interested parties like countries, including South Africa, United Nations, and many others who have so much, some of their leaders, by the way, who have invested in the mineral-rich eastern part of Congo. They have brought in all kinds of soldiers in what they call the peacekeeping mission. Okay, peacekeeping mission means to continue to chase out these rebels. But it's on record that these supposed rebels, they have the backing of Kagame in Rwanda. And somehow, right, the last 6 months, I've seen them advance day by day, until the last 4 days when they came so close to one of the biggest cities in the eastern part of that place called Goma. And yeah, I shared a part of that with us yesterday when they were just about 10 or so kilometers away from that city. Around that time, the rest of the world started reacting. The Koreans, the Chinese, Americans, the Britain, South Africa, and even Rwanda, Angola, and all others. Genocide has been taking place in that part of Congo for decades, right? And most of those who are speaking up today, their interest is not mostly about the people there. It is about the resources there or the different mining companies they set up in that part of Congo. And the rebels claimed that they are fighting for their people, right? Like, yeah, we are fighting to reclaim our land. We are fighting to reclaim our dignity, our sovereignty. And we are fighting to finish the oppressive regime in Kinshasa. Kinshasa is the headquarters of Congo. It's like the country's capital. Shekedi also, their president, is like having a northerner rule over the whole country. And then the easterners are treated like piece of shit, right? Just, it's so similar to Nigeria. You see, Congo is so similar to what is going on in Nigeria, where the rich eastern part of Nigeria, which they have demarcated politically to what they call the Niger Delta, in order to make it look like the what do you call it, the Igbos are they are like in the middle. Or if you get to go back to the normal plan, right? Today, today, I mean, the place they call the Niger Delta today was part of the old eastern region of Nigeria. And because of the crude oil in that place, right, they decided to politically demarcate the place. But that's different with what they have in Congo. So they are called criminals. So now here is the irony. The peacekeepers who were supposed to be who claimed to be protecting the interest of the Easterners in Congo, they have been accused of different human rights abuses, rape, and like killings of innocent civilians who were blamed for shielding the rebels. You understand? Like innocent civilians have been slaughtered in this eastern part of the Congo because they were blamed, right, for the atrocities of the rebels. But here is the difference. The rebels, right, they have the very strong backing of Rwanda. Enough that yesterday they took over Goma. Now, before they came in, there were people who were already like moving out, escaping from the region, like as refugees. In Rwanda, there are Tutsis who escaped from this same region to Rwanda, and some of them have been there for more than 20 years. So it is so complex, right, that rather than for this eastern part of Rwanda to know peace, despite thousands of peacekeepers operating in the region, now people discovered that they were not interested in the people per se. They were interested in the resources. Most of them, including mercenaries, they were there to protect mining sites where the resources of this region is being smuggled out of the country. So everything came to the head yesterday. And I said, this morning, Goma fell. So I've got some pictures I collected, like put together to share with us of what is going on in Eastern Congo and the reactions of the supposed world power since this happened. Because according to these guys now, after Goma, they are advancing further and they are going to Kinshasa. And if they succeed, you may have another Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali all combined on our hands, where the supposed, colonists or new colonists will be chased out of the country. Or maybe a full-blown war will follow. We don't know yet. But so this evening, right, this mineral-rich region of the Eastern Congo, right, has fallen to the hands of the people they claim to be rebels, while the thousands of the peacekeepers have fled. Some of them have surrendered, including, meanwhile, from the report, they said only 13 of these, fighting peacekeepers who were trying to stop these rebels from advancing, they've killed 13 of them. Out of the 13 they killed, 9 of them are South African soldiers. But South African soldiers, they were in Congo fighting. And some South Africans are like really, really mad right now. They are mad at Kagame. They are blaming him for the death of the South African soldiers in Congo. While other South Africans are saying, what is South African soldiers doing in Congo? What are they doing there? But there are other pointers where they say some of their politicians, right, past presidents, they actually own mines in this eastern part of Congo as as investors. So pretending to have taken South African soldiers to Congo for peacekeeping. Meanwhile, they took them there as security for their mines and the rebels as enemies of those interests. Things have gone out of hand right now as we speak. To the point that there's a report where some people or some forces, let's say the Congolese forces, right, loyal to the government, have been accused of firing mortars, shooting straight into Rwanda as we speak. Things are escalating. So let me give you a piece of that. It's going to be a long watch, okay? Let's start with this. First, right? How did the people who were supposed to be more like scared, apprehensive of these rebels that were told, that the people were told were their enemies, how did they welcome them? Yeah.